dito.
Pwede ata yan, Papa.
Pasyano, may kinalaman ka ba dito?
Oo, may kinalaman ako, Papa.
Ba't di mo sinabi agad?
Pero na hindi siya papayagan. Manong, gusto ko sana maglakbay. Gusto ko sana ibang bansa. Sangayon ako sa plano mo, kapatid. Ngunit alam natin, hindi ka papayagan ng ating mga magulang. Eh, Manong, hindi naman ako pupunta ng ibang bansa para magsaya at mamabae. Pupunta ako ng ibang bansa para mag-aral at magmasid. Alam ko yan, kapatid. Nala kita. Asahan mo ang tulong ko.
My dearest mother, I write you a few lines before leaving. My health is good, thank God. Only I am worried as to what will happen to you in these days of confusion and unquiet. God grant that my old parents may have no trouble. Take care of yourself and take care of my old father, so that we may all see one another again. Loving remembrances to my brother, my sisters, nephews, aunts, etc. You are the bond that ties us all together. In closing, my dearest mother, I kiss your hand and that of my father, with all the feeling and love of which my heart is capable, giving me your blessings, for I greatly need it. An affectionate embrace to each of my sisters, and a token of how much I love them all. Your son, Pepe.
Rizal decided to complete his studies in Spain. At that time, the government of Spain was a constitutional monarchy, under a written constitution which granted human rights to the people, particularly freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of assembly. Aside from this ostensible reason is his secret mission. Rizal enrolled in the Universidad Central de Madrid in two courses, medicine and philosophy and letters. Rizal, being a lonely young man in a foreign country, far from his natal land, was attracted by Consuelo's beauty. However, before his romance with Consuelo could blossom into a serious affair, he suddenly backed out for two reasons. First, he was still engaged with Leonor Rivera, and second, his friend Eduardo Delete was madly in love with Consuelo. In Berlin, Rizal was not a mere student or a curious tourist. He lived in this famous capital of unified Germany for 5 reasons. First, to gain further knowledge of ophthalmology. Second, to further his studies of sciences and languages. Third, to observe the economic and political conditions of German nation. Fourth, to associate with famous German scientists and scholars. And fifth, to publish his novel Noli Me Tangere. Rizal starved in Berlin and shivered with the wintry cold. His health broke down due to lack of proper nourishment. He began to cough, and he feared that he was going to be sick with tuberculosis. Never had he suffered such physical blows of penury, so that his soul cried out in despair. In Japan, Rizal saw in lovely Osason the qualities of his ideal womanhood: beauty, charm, modesty, and intelligence. In the United States, Rizal had good and bad impressions. The good impressions were, first, the material progress of the country as shown in the great cities, huge farms, flourishing industries, and busy factories. Second, the drive and energy of the American people. Third, the natural beauty of the land. Fourth, the high standard of living. And fifth, the opportunities for better life offered to poor immigrants. One bad impression Rizal had of America was the lack of racial equality. Rizal answered Jose Alejandro, "America is a land of par excellence, of freedom, but only for the whites." After visiting the United States, Rizal lived in London. He chose this English city to be his new home for three reasons. First, to improve his knowledge of the English language. Second, to study and annotate Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, a rare copy of which he heard to be available in the British Museum. And third, London was a safe place for him to carry on his fight against Spanish tyranny. Days flew swiftly for Rizal in Brussels like flying arrows. Day in and day out, he was busy revising and polishing the manuscript of El Filibusterismo so that it could be ready for the press. Before Christmas of 1891, he was gladdened by the arrival of his father, brother, and Silvestre Ubaldo, who is his brother-in-law, in Hong Kong. Not long afterwards, his mother and sisters Lucia, Josefa, and Trinidad also arrived. His mother was then 65 years old and was almost blind. The Christmas of 1891 in Hong Kong was one of the happiest Yuletide celebration in Rizal's life, for he had a family reunion. Rizal practiced medicine in Hong Kong to earn a living for himself and for his family. It is also in Hong Kong where Rizal successfully operated the left eye of his mother.